Okay, so we haven't got long, so let's try and do this as quickly as we can. This is the famous Gemara in Shabbos. Take a look at box number 1. If you're listening online, please email me at j.golker@gmail.com. Says the Gemara in Shabbos, Daf Chof Aleph on the base. Famous Gemara. Tan Rabbanon. Mitzvahs Chanukah ner ish ubeisai. The basic mitzvah of Chanukah is that each man lights for their home. HaMehadrin, those who want to do it on level 2, the higher level, ner lekol echad ve'echad. You have each person lights a candle. HaMehadrin, if you want to go level 3, which is the highest level, on the first day you light 8 and then you go down 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 6, 2, 1, etc. On the first day you light 1, which is of course what we do. You start with 1 and then you go up to 8. Okay, I'll count the Gemara. So 3 levels in the Gemara. Level 1 is Ner Ish Ubeisai. Level 2 is Ner Lekol Echad Ve'echad, and then the Mehadrin and the Mehadrin. Pasha Pshat is, let's say there are 5 people in the home. How many candles would you expect to see in the window on day 3? On day 3, when there are 5 people in the home, what is the answer? 1. Correct? Yeah? That if on day 3 of Chanukah, 5 people in the home, according to the level 1, it's going to be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way through. Level 2, how many candles would you see in the window on the 3rd night of Chanukah if there are 5 people in the house? 3. Means there are 5 people in the house. 5 people in the house, 5. So, according to level 1, it will be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. According to level 2, if there are 5 people in the house, it will be 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. According to level 3, Beis Shammai say down, Beis Hillel say up. Now, continues the Gemara. Oma Ula, Pligi Botrei Amorai. 2 Amoraim argue about it, Marava in the west, which means in Eretz Yisrael, relative to Baba, that's the west. Rabbi Yossi bar Avin, Rabbi Yossi bar Zveta. Those were their names. Chad Om time of the Beis Shammai, Keneged Yom HaNichnosim. The reasoning of Beis Shammai, i.e. that you go down 8 to 1, is Keneged Yom HaNichnosim. There are 8 days left, there are 7 days left, there are 6 days left. The time of the Beis Hillel, and the reasoning of Beis Hillel is Keneged Yomim HaYotzin, the days that have already passed. This is the first day of Chanukah, this is the second day of Chanukah. It's that way. That's one opinion. V'chad Omar, and the other one said, time of the Beis Shammai, the reasoning of Beis Shammai is Keneged Pari HaChag. There's the parim that were brought on Sukkot. It went down from 13 down to 12 to 11, all the way down to 7. The principle of descent. The time of the Beis Hillel, why'd you go up? So you got 2 different svaras in Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. One says it's the Yom HaNichnos Yom HaYotzin. If we focus just on Beis Hillel for clarity, Beis Hillel means either you go the Yomim HaYotzin, which means the days that have passed. This is the first day, the second day, the third day. Or the svara of Beis Hillel is that it's Malim HaKodesh Ve'im Meridin. Fine. Now, then the Gemara tells a story. Omer Rabbi B'Bachana Rabbi Yochanan. Shnei Zakenim Hoye Bet Seidon. There were 2 elders in Seidon. Echad Osaka Beis Shammai ve'Echad Osaka de Beis Hillel. One did like Beis Shammai, one did like Beis Hillel. Zeh Noisin Tam Ledvarav. This one gave the svara of Keneged Pari HaChag. That's Beis Shammai's principle of descent. Zeh Noisin Tam Ledvarav. The Malim HaKodesh Ve'im Meridin. The principle of ascent, where you go up. Okay, end of Gemara. Now, I was particularly vague in level 3, in Mehadrin and Mehadrin. Let me ask you a question. Back to our scenario, let's change it. There are not 5 people in the home, but let's say there are 10 people in the home. Okay, I don't want to get into the whole sugi of women lighting, that's not for now, another shit. But you've got 10 people in the home. So on the 3rd night of Chanukah, how many candles would you expect to see in the window? 30? Oh. So this, says Tosfos, contrary to popular conception, Nira Lari, Zog Tosfos, in Dibba Maskal HaMehadrin Mehadrin, to Beis Shammai Beis Hillel Lekam Yelad Nir Eshu Beisai. That level 3 is a qualification of level 1, not level 2. In other words, it's level 1 is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Level 2, if there are 10 people in the house, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And level 3 is a qualification not of level 2 but of level 1. And therefore, it's not Ner Ish Ubeisai, it's not 1 candle per night, but it's actually going to be 1 the first night, 2 the second night, 3 the third night, 8 the 8th night, according to Beis Hillel. Why, says Tosfos, Sheken Yesh Yoseh Hidur, because there is more of a Hidur, the Ika Hekera, because there is a Heka, there is more recognition, Kashem Moisif HaHoylech HaMachases Shekuneged Yom HaNichnosim Yosim. It's more evident when you go past the house hey, which night of Chanukah is it? But if every single person in the house is lighting a candle, there's no longer a heka. For example, if you go past the house and you see there are 20 candles, so you think to yourself, are there 4 people in the house and it's the 5th night of Chanukah? Or maybe it's the 5th night of Chanukah and there are 4 people in the house. It's not clear. But if you've got one menorah in the house and you see 4 candles, very clear that it's the 4th night of Chanukah. So Tosfos understands that Mehadrin and Mehadrin is a qualification on level 1 and not level 2. Ad kan Tosfos. Why? Because of Heka. Says the Rambam, Kama Neirus hu madlik. How many lights do you light? Now what is the alternative explanation of why did you all say 30? In my question. When I said it's the 3rd night of Chanukah and there are 10 people in the house, why did you say 30? Yeah, because you think, because level 3 is a qualification of level 2. Level 1 says 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Level 2 says there are 10 people in the house, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Level 3 is that each of those people goes up 1. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40 to 80. Right? That's how you understood. That is Shittas Rambam. Says the Rambam, bottom box. Kama neirus hu madlik b'Chanukah. Mitzvah shehoya kol bayis hu bayis madlik ne echad. The basic mitzvah, level 1, is 1 candle per house. Bein shehoya anoshi anshe bayis merubin, bein shehoya bayis adam echad. Whether there's a lot of people or 1 people, the basic mitzvah is 1 candle. V'amahades ha-mitzvah, i.e. level 2, madlik neirus kamin anshe bayis. You do it according to the number of people in the house. Ne kol echad ve'echad, bein anoshim, bein noshim. I.e. 10 people in the house, so there'll be 10 the first night, 10 the second night, 10 the third night, etc. V'hamahade yoyse, i.e. level 3, v'oyse mitzvah min ha-muvcha, madlik ne lekol echad ve'echad belayla orishin u'meisif v'hilich b'chol halayla v'nayla ne'echad. I.e. each person adds on more. Says the Rambam in the next halacha, clarifying it for us, Keitzad, yeah? Hari shahoyan shebayis asora, you got 10 people in the house, belayla orishin madlik asora neris. Or Belel Sheni Esrim, or Belel Shlishi Shloshim, Ashnim Samadlik Belel Shmini, Shmoinim. Very good. So you've got a Machlekas Tosfos in the Rambam. What is Pshat in level 3? According to Tosfos, it's Hekera, and therefore it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in Beis Hillel. And according to the Rambam, it's every single person. It's a qualification. Level 3 is a qualification level 2, and therefore, let's say there are 10 people in the house. According to Beis Hillel, it will be 10, 20, 30, 40, up to 80. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so then, now, take a look at the Rif. This is the top of the next page. This is astonishing. Says the Rif, thank you. Toner Rabbanon, mitzvahs ner Chanukah, ner Shabesa. Now remember, what's going to be interesting is the Rif, essentially, was the first person to codify halacha. What did he do? He sucked out the halachic parts of the Gemara, and you're familiar with it, you open the back of the Gemara, and after you've done the Rosh and the Marsha, etc., you carry on, and you think, hey, I've got to the Gemara again. What has the Rif done? He's taken out the halachic aspects of the Gemara. So what you expect to find in the Rif is what? Halacha. Okay, just bear that in mind. Toner Rabbanon. Mitzvahs ner Chanukah ner Shabesai, v'Mehadrin ner lekol echad ve'echad. V'Mehadrin and Mehadrin be'shama omrim yom rishon madlik shmoina, mikan ve'elech peiches v'helech be'sil omrim yom rishon madlik achas, mikan ve'elech moisef v'helech. Tamayad be'shamai keneged parei chag, inami keneged yom ha'nechnosim. Tamayad be'sil keneged yom ha'yos, and inami mishum ma'alim kodesh ve'em meridin. Okay, ad kan the Rif. Omer Rabbi bar Brachana, Omer B'Yochanan, Mishum Shnei Zakenim Hoyu B'Tzidon. There were 2 elders in Sidon. Echad osket Rabbi Shammai, Echad osket Rabbi Hillel, Zenis and Talmud Dvarav, Keneged Parei Chag, V'Nes and Talmud Dvarav, Mishum Malim Kodesh Ve'em Meridin. Why does the Rif bring this? This has no relevance. Tell me a story of what happened in Sidon. Why does the Rif do this? That's an interesting question. What's very unusual and what's well known is halacha l'maisa. What does the Shulchan Aruch paskin and what does the Ramah paskin? Says the Shulchan Aruch. This is in box number 4 in Tafresh Ein Aleph Sif Beis. Kama neiris madlik. How many candles do you light? L'maisa. Belayla harishin madlik echad. Mikan ve'elech moisef v'hoilech echad. B'chol layla ad shebelayla achrin yushmoina. V'afilu im rabim b'nei habayis v'lo lo yadliku yoseh. Even if there are lots of people in the house, you don't light more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. Is that like Tosfos or the Rambam? Tosfos. Okay. Says the Ramah, Hago, v'yesh omrim dekol echad b'bnei habayis yadlik. No, there are those who say whenever the Ramah says v'yesh omrim, that means minig Ashkenaz is different, and every single member of the house lights a candle. V'chein minig pashat. Wow. Who's the Ramah going like? The Rambam. That is very interesting because of historical background. We're familiar with this, right? The Shulchan Aruch says in his Hakdama that, the Shulchan Aruch is basically bringing together all the shittas of the Rishonim. So how does he know which one to go like? Do I go like Rashi? Do I go like the Rambam? Do I go like Tosfos? Do I go like the Rabbi Yonah, the Ritva, the Rashba? What do I do? Says the Shulchan Aruch in his Hakdama, I follow the three Amudei HaRishonim, the three great pillars of the Rishonim, the Rosh, the Rif, and the Rambam. And therefore, whenever they argue, I go after the majority. The trouble is, as it were, I've got an inbuilt Sephardi majority, because the Rif and the Rambam are Sephardi Rishonim, and therefore the Shulchan Aruch is pretty much going to go down that route. And therefore, although the Rosh, of course, was Ashkenazi, he was from Germany, he was a Talmud of Maharam in Rothenburg, he escaped. When the Maharam died in prison, he realized he was next, so he went out, he went to Spain, he spent a week in the house of the Rashba. Can you imagine? Imagine being at the breakfast table. Just imagine. The Rashba then died, he was a very old man, and the Rosh took over his the leader of Spanish Jewry. He had an Ashkenazi Rav in the Sephardi world. It was fascinating how he dealt with it, with wisdom and tremendous chachma. Anyway, the Rosh, the Shulchan Aruch, 95%, if not more, of the Shulchan Aruch is the Rambam. So it's highly unusual that the Shulchan Aruch is not following the shitta of the Rambam over here, and is following the shitta of Tosfos. And more unusual is the Ramah, who writes his work in order to redress the balance and to include Ashkenazi Rishonim, Tosfos, Rashi, etc. He's abandoning Tosfos and is following the Rambam. Says the Be'ehitiv, look at the box number 5. Says the Be'ehitiv, V'zeh chidush, she'asfardim nagim k'Tosfos, v'Ashkenazim k'Rambam. What an unusual thing. Fascinating. Okay. The question is though, why? Why taka is it that the Shulchan Aruch is going like Tosfos and the Ramah is going like the Rambam? So the Ramah to go like the Shulchan Aruch to go like Tosfos, can anyone give me a svara? What's the svara that the Shulchan Aruch should deviate from his normal practice of following the Rambam and go like Tosfos? What's the svara? Yeah.
If the Rif and the Rosh paskin, like Tosfos in this case.
Yeah, but true. Yeah, that's true. But there's a svara. What's the compelling svara? The compelling svara is
recognizable.
Yeah, heka. I.e., Tosfos has given me a compelling svara. Tosfos says that it's all to do with heka. So mishum de'ika hakera k'shemoysev ha'ilach u'machasav ha'ilach. I.e., when I go past the house and I see 20 candles, then I think to myself, what is going on? But if I go past the house and I see 4 candles, I know tonight is the 4th night of Chanukah. I see 5 candles, it's very clear. There's one menorah in the window, mishum heka. So therefore the Shulchan Aruch found that svara so compelling, he likes it. L'chora. The svara is though, what about the Ramah? What about the Ramah? So here comes something magical. This is what I heard many years ago from Mr. Bobby Hill. I heard this pshat, that's Rafi's Zayda, and he said something very interesting. We asked the kasha before. Why did the Rif bring this Maisa B'Tzeidon? What's it got to do anything? Maisa B'Tzeidon, why are you bringing it? It's not the Rif brings halacha, he doesn't bring stories. If you look carefully at this Maisa B'Tzeidon, it's very instructive. How so? Because what happens there? Omer Rabbi Bachana Rabbi Yochanan, Shnei Zakenim Shoy B'Tzeidon, Echad K'dei Rabbi Shammai K'dei Rabbi Hillel. Zeno is in Tam L'Dvarav K'neged Parei Chag, V'zeno is in Tam L'Dvarav. Mishaman M'Kodesh HaMehadrin. Interestingly, the Maisa of Tzeidon is telling me which of the 2 reasons of Beis Hillel I prefer. Because Beis Hillel gave me 2 reasons. What were the reasons of Beis Hillel? Why do we go up? Either because Ma'al M'Kodesh HaMehadrin or because Yom HaNichnosin, i.e. these are the days that have passed. But the Maisa B'Tzeidon is being machriya that the real, the enduring reason of Beis Hillel is Ma'al M'Kodesh HaMehadrin. Now, what's the nafkamina between the 2 reasons of Beis Hillel? Yeah? Hakera, beautiful. Because
if you say that it's K'neged Yom HaYotzin, then you need to know exactly how many days it is. But if you say it's K'neged the Parei Chag, then it doesn't matter what the day is, just
exactly. According to Beis Hillel, if the svara is connected to Yom HaYotzin, then I want to know which day it is. If the svara is Malam B'Kodesh V'Yom HaMehadrin, then all I know is there's the principle of ascent. Therefore, the Rif is telling me that the key reason of Beis Hillel is Ma'alim HaKodesh ve'Mehadrin, not Hekera, and that you go up and you don't go down, Geshmak. And therefore, the Rif is favoring he's dismissing the svara of Hekera, and he says, no, the Iker is Pirsum Nissa, the more people that can be involved in it, the better, and therefore he's rejecting, if you like, the svara of Hekera. So it could be the reason why, because the Kasha is also on the Rambam. Why does the Rambam abandon this? So it could be that the Rambam and the Rif abandon this reason is because the Gemara itself is alluding to the fact that the overriding reason is Ma'alim HaKodesh ve'Mehadrin. And therefore, the more the merrier. And therefore the Ramah would abandon his normal practice of following Tosfos and actually will follow the Rambam and the Rif, because that's sort of hinted to in the Gemara that this is the primary reason. Very geschmack. The question is therefore, why is it? Why is it on Chanukah we go down this road? Why is it that there are different levels? There's level 1, level 2, level 3. And everyone does this, apart from a Shas Atchak or whatever. A person's traveling in an airport, he's only can get one thing. You're in Russia, and before the wall came down. But apart from that, all Jewish homes will light the way you've just described. And by the way, you'll see this in Sephardi homes around the world. There'll be one menorah in the window. Is that true? Any Sephardi homes here? Yeah, that's what you have in your home. And it's shocking to other people. They didn't realize it. When you tell your friends that there's only one, there can be 5 boys at home, and all of a sudden there's dad's lighting the menorah. There's one menorah in the window. It seems very surprising to those who are not familiar with it. And you go to an Ashkenazi home, and the tradition is that every person will light. Why is that? It's based on the Ramah and the Shulchan Aruch. But what's fascinating is that what we've seen today is the background to it. We understand that the Shulchan Aruch is actually going like Tosfos, and the Ramah is going like the Rambam, and we now understand why they're going in their divergent paths. We understand that the Shulchan Aruch is going like Tosfos because he favors Heka, and we understand that the Ramah is favoring that everyone should light because he's going like the Rambam and he's going like the Rif, who L'chaira abandon the svara of Heka because the Gemara itself is alluding to the fact that Ma'alim HaKodesh ve'Mehadrin is the primary reason of Beis Hillel and not Keneged Yom HaYotzin. You get that? Very geschmack. And like the Behita says, Zeh Chiddush, it's a very unusual thing that we're sort of this unusual thing that the Sephardim are going like Tosfos, Ashkenazim are going like the Rambam. We don't see this elsewhere. Now, the question is, why is it that Mehadrin and Mehadrin, why do we do it in this way when it comes to Chanukah? Why is it in the most Jewish homes you light one candle and finished? So take a look at this Beis Halevi, paragraph 6, very interesting. Hine. Why is it when it comes to the lighting the menorah, you find these levels? I think the reason is this. The very inception of the miracle involved the hidur mitzvah. And it wasn't because of the ikka mitzvah. What does that mean? They found a pach shemen, and there was enough there to light for one night. I'll tell you a useful hack, says the Beis Halevi. If you've got a little bit of oil, make your wicks thinner and the oil will last longer. They could have made the wicks thin, 1/8 of the normal thickness of the wick. And therefore this pach shemen would have lasted for 8 days with these thin wicks. Because there's no measurement in the thickness of the psilos. Why did they choose to use it, the beautiful thick wicks? Because of hidur mitzvah. Because the thicker the wick, the brighter the candle, the brighter the shining. And therefore, Chazal say that since the inception of the mitzvah was done by way of hidur mitzvah, therefore we actually have different levels in hidur, Mehadrin and Mehadrin. And that perhaps explains another interesting thing. Is there a mitzvah to have a meal on Chanukah? Well, let's take a look at the Shulchan Aruch, bottom box. B'chafei b'kislev maschilin shmonas yimei Chanukah. V'asurim b'hesped v'tanis. Ava motorim b'asiyas melacha. V'noagas hanoshim shelelas melacha ba'ed shaneris dolkas. There's a minhag that women don't do melacha, which means like cholamoid melachas, like laundry and things like that. V'yesh mishayim she'en lo hakel lohem. Ribu yasuda Shemar ben bohem heim sudas harishus. If you want to increase your suda, it's a rishus, it's not a chiyuv. Sheloi kavim lemishta o mishta v'simcha. Because Chazal won't kovei a suda on Chanukah. Haggah, says the Ramah, v'yesh oimrim sheyesh k'tzas mitzvahs b'ribi hasudas. There's those who say there's a k'tzas mitzvah. Mishum deba'is na yomim hoye Chanukah samizbeach. Because after all, it was the rededication of the Mizbeach, v'noagin lemizmiris v'shvachas b'sudas shemar ben bohem, and the minhag is to sing zmiris and to praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'ozav sudas mitzvah, then it becomes a sudas mitzvah. Okay, it's perplexing. It's so vague. Is there a mitzvah to have a festive meal or not? Perhaps the Teretz is, like the Beis Halevi is saying, the central mitzvah of Chanukah is to turn the mundane into a mitzvah, and not doing the bare minimum. We're not going after one candle per household. We're doing beyond, we're doing higher, we're doing Hidur Mitzvah. Therefore, you're taking the mundane and you're elevating it. Therefore, when it comes to a Suda, Chazal Dafka say, we're not Koveya a Suda, it's not like Purim, it's not like Adi Yom Tovim, we're not Koveya Suda. But if you take this mundane meal and you elevate it, and you sing Zmiris and Shvachas, and you say Divrei Torah, then you've elevated it into a Suda's Mitzvah. That's exactly what Hidur Mitzvah is. That's the whole theme of Chanukah. You're taking the mundane, the basic, and you're elevating it. So I think something very fascinating emerges from all of this.